The SEC is charging 8 influencers with running a pump and dump scheme with the stocks that they would recommend, say that they're holding long term or holding for some sort of price target, and selling it just minutes after saying that. This includes people like PJ Matlock, Mr. Zach Morris, Oh Hey Tommy, Notorious Alerts, Hugh Henney, Laid Back, and Ultra Calls, all of these being Twitter accounts that are relatively big in size, 100,000, a few 100,000 followers on there. And with that amount of followers, you could easily pump and dump some penny stocks, which is exactly what these guys did. Basically, tweeting out positive things about these stocks, these penny stocks, saying they're going to $1 or something. And then they would use that to push it to their followers, push the price up, and then sell without telling people they sold, usually within minutes of tweeting out something positive about the stock. Right here, they describe this this scheme that they did, saying 7 of the defendants, all of these Twitter influencers, carried out the scheme, coordinating the acquisition of shares, promoting the shares to their followers, and dumping the shares for substantial profits. They were aided and abetted by Daniel Knight, who with Hennessy co-hosted a popular stock trading podcast that promoted the other defendants as expert traders and provided a platform for the defendants to deceptively promote the stocks they intended to dump. So basically what they would do is have their own little chat talking to each other about a certain stock, say that they were going to buy it, they would all buy it, and then send those messages off to this podcast guys saying promote this stock, and they would say this stock, it looks like it's going to go to X amount of dollars, and then they would use that as promotion. Maybe they would add on their own little tweets and use that to provide some hype, use it to pump the price up, and then dump as soon as the price started moving up and not really holding till any of their price targets because they didn't mean anything. And the amount of money they made from this is ridiculous. It says from at least January 2020 through present, the 8 defendants earned approximately $100 million from this stock manipulation scheme. $100 million. These guys were making money hand over fist, thinking that they weren't going to get caught and probably feeling like they're on top of the world, and now they're at the bottom. A crazy thing with this case too shows that the SEC is probably behind the scenes in a lot of these people's group chats and discords, where a lot of people probably think that they're safe if it's paywalled entry. They might think that they're safe and they can kind of say whatever they want, put out these buy sell alerts and not have anyone hold them accountable. But that might be absolutely changing, because with the information that the SEC puts in here, they might be in a lot of these group chats and Discord chats. So a lot of people who promote and buy sell alerts and like do all this stock stuff, if they are selling on top of that, if they're not just saying, you know, bought here, sold here, and putting out information they think about a stock, if they're actively putting out price targets and selling within minutes of putting that stuff out and not saying anything, they're probably going to get caught too. One of the stocks that they cover in here that these guys pumped and dumped is CEI, which is a super penny stock. It's still a penny stock, right? I think it's some sort of energy company or oil company, something like that. But right here, it says by the afternoon of August 4th, 2021, all 3 had acquired significant positions in CEI, with Deal owning 936,000 shares, acquired an average price of 46 cents, Matlock at 835,000 at the same, and Cooperman owning 405,000 shares at 47 cents per share. Then they posted on Twitter that I'm adding for a swing. Volume is starting to come into pennies this week, and this is very cheap. On the daily chart, we have formed a double bottom. Last time these prices went to $3, so that leaves a lot of range. And then within the next 4 minutes after these posts, Matlock sold 165,000 shares, Deal sold 60,000, Koopman sold 240,000 as the prices rose by a penny per share, and they continued to go on pumping the stock. So basically what they did is put out this positive information, say it's going to $3, to try and get people super excited and get them to start pumping the volume up on a low flow or a low volume stock that they could easily kind of get pumped up with the following that they had. I mean, we can look at CEI right now and just take some of these numbers. If we look at their average volume right here, it's 33.5 million shares per day. So if you do that times the price of the stock, it's about $2.6 million per day in volume, which might sound like a lot, but it's absolutely nothing when you take into account that these guys had probably almost 1 million followers or over 1 million followers between the 2 of them, or between all of them, all 8, and their podcast they were running. So if you even take if they were able to get just 50,000 people out of probably close to a million, and those 50,000 people put in $50, that would be almost the entire volume for everything. So that would pump the price. That would be $2.5 million of just buying on top of whatever the normal buying volume would be, around 1.3 million. So this is obviously going to pump the price. That's almost the entire volume, and it's coming in purely buying. And this is a stock that they stuck with pumping it, probably because it was pretty easy to do. They saw success, tried to rinse and repeat. And like right here, talking about on September 15th, 2021, they also bought 100,000 shares of it at $1.65 per share. 2 minutes after he bought, he tweeted saying, "I'm holding overnight. A huge day is coming. I can feel it." And then one of their other guys responded to his tweet saying, like, I ain't selling under 3, believe that. And then despite him telling his followers he was holding overnight because a huge day was coming, he had already begun to dump all 100,000 of his shares for $1.66 per share between 334 and 336. So these guys were definitely doing this with multiple stocks, and this is the game that they're playing. And this is why you don't listen to anybody on financial TikTok, financial Twitter, financial YouTube, anyone who's telling you to buy and sell things. You just don't know their intent behind them. Some people might have good intent and they might actually be doing analysis and trying to put things out there, but you just can't blindly follow anyone. Because at the end of the day, a lot of people could be running this right here where they say one thing, and just with the stock going up 1 cent, they start to sell. They just rake in their profits. And obviously they're only looking out for themselves, and they tweet whatever to try and hype it up, get your money in. Chances are you're just going to lose, and they make money off you. It's obviously a fantastic thing that the SEC is charging these guys and going after these guys. Maybe it'll scare people not to do this anymore. Maybe it'll get people to finally start thinking that they shouldn't pump and dump stocks, they shouldn't pump and dump crypto, they shouldn't do any of this stuff, and they can put out analysis as long as they aren't doing it simply to pump and dump things. But the SEC is definitely in some of these chats, and maybe some of these bigger guys who run chats like this and paid wall discords and stuff, is maybe if they're running this, they're going to get caught too. Hopefully no one's doing that, because that would be absolutely tragic. But if they are, the SEC's in there. They are in those chats. Even if you think that they're not there, they're there watching your every move. But that's going to do it for this video. As always, don't forget to smash the like button and subscribe. We're on the road to 1,000 subs. We're pretty close to that. And I'll see you guys in my next video.